Hey.
Hey, John, how's it going?
It's so good to see you.
You too.
Here, take a seat.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, so...
It's been forever since I saw you. How are you and John doing?
Well, it's a little complicated, but did I ever tell you how we met?
I don't think you ever did.
It was at a coffee shop.
She was sitting across the table at a cafe reading some of Shakespeare's sonnets.
He came over and said that he loved Sonnet 116.
I think it was Sonnet 116. Led me not to the marriage of true minds, admit impediments.
Love is not love, which alters when alteration finds.
Or bends with the remover to remove.
He always was a bit awkward meeting new people, but we started talking.
At the end of the afternoon, I'd asked her out.
After we went on a couple dates, he really warmed up. We discovered we liked the same books, the same music, the same movies.
The same food. It was like meeting the best friend I never knew existed.
It didn't matter what we did. I just remembered I wanted to be with him every possible minute. We could be cooking, playing board games, going on a hike. I just loved it, every bit of it, and I wanted to be with him forever.
And no one had ever made me feel like that before, so I asked her to marry me. Things were so good for that first year. We always had old married couples telling us that it would be hard, but really it was just fun.
I started to think maybe happily ever afters actually do happen.
Then we got a bit of a surprise.
10 months later, we found out we were expecting. I didn't think we'd be starting a family so soon, but growing up as an only child, I kind of wanted a big family, so.
I'd always grown up with a lot of siblings, so I always wanted that same experience for my kids if I had them.
I remember we couldn't decide on a name for weeks.
Even after we'd already picked a name, it was hard for me to believe that I was actually going to be a father. It was all just so real.
We could hardly wait for our son's arrival, and then I started getting really bad back pains.
We ended up going to the doctor.
That moment felt like I couldn't move on, and there was just no getting past it.
It was all the dreams of not only our future, but also his future, just gone.
The doctor was trying to make us feel better, like telling us things, saying that 25% of pregnancies are miscarriages, but...
You know that feeling you get when you're walking down the stairs to the basement and the light's not on, so you miss a step?
Her son's not just another number.
You couldn't do anything without remembering what was missing. And sooner or later, Charlie just became really distant.
I'm still trying to figure things out. I know it's not fair to John, but sometimes you just need space.
Whenever I would try and touch her, like hug her, she would always just pull away.
Every time I ask him to give me some space, he doesn't listen. He just doesn't get it. It's so I'm fighting a loss, and then I'm fighting him. I'm just getting tired of all this.
And when we lost our son, it felt like it couldn't get any worse. But then I realized I was losing her too. It was almost like all of the happy memories we had together didn't exist. She wasn't the person that I thought she was. Like, our whole marriage was just wishful thinking.
I'm still not over losing my son, and I won't ever be. His life is a part of mine. I have to be okay with absorbing the reality of his death. The same way soil receives decaying matter, I have to allow it to enrich my life, not derail it.
The experience of loss didn't have to be the defining moment in my life. And I think we can move on and let the past be what it was, but our response to that loss is what defines it.
It's not what happens to us that matters.
So much as what happens in us.